Welcome to Mrs. Soberai's tour of the Algebra McGraw Hill website. The first thing you're going to have to do, of course, is log in. So let's open up a browser. Chrome works really well with the McGraw Hill website. To find where to log in, I'm going to go to my website. I've already bookmarked my website, so I'm going to just go to directly to my website right now. So you can go to my website, you'll get to right here. Okay, so I'm going to go to this, Connect Ed. Let's click on that. And it's got some instructions. And so then it has the McGraw Hill student login link. And this is the same whether you are a 6th grader, an algebra student, or a math 8 student, or even a 7th grade student. So I'm just going to click on that. And again, my suggestion is go right up here and bookmark it. Okay, I'm going to log in with a student's login. So you're going to get your login in class. If you were on this last year, you absolutely have the same login. If you're new to the school, algebra students, I'm going to have to add you, and so this is kind of new to you. There are 2 different books in this person's login, but that's because I'm going to show Math 8 theirs in a moment. So here's Algebra 1. So this is what you would see. So if you were on this last year, you'll notice it's a little different. What they've done is they've streamlined what they call the dashboard or the home page. So everything is now in the menu drag down. So Connect Ed just gets you to the top page again. Let's click on Resources. And so resources are going to be what's available to you students. And so it happens to be on Chapter 7 right now. Let me just go to Chapter 1. So these would be, and you know, it helps also, by the way, to always drag down to 48 so that you can see them all. So this is the chapter overview, but I'm going to go to an actual lesson variables and expressions. And you're going to see what you saw last year if you were using this. There's something called PT Personal Tutors. So they explain step by step something about writing verbal expressions. So the way you access that is you just open the resource, and then Mr. Hardesty is telling you about writing a verbal expression. The nice thing is you can speed it up and down. I'm going to click out though. Okay, this is new. Now they have the tutors in Spanish. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look at the left side here. Check. So let's click on check. What check is going to be, and listen carefully, algebra students, is something called the self-check quiz. For the first chapter, I'm actually going to take the time to assign them to you, meaning put them into your homework assignments. But after that, and I'll let you know in Chapter 2, this is how you would find them. You go to the actual lesson, so let's look at the drag down. This drag down got me to Chapter 1. This is Lesson 1-1. That's the lesson drag down. And then let's go back to all resources again. And here are all your resources. You can click on the word check, and you get to the self-check quiz. Why is that important? Because this is part of your homework grade on a daily basis. When I click on this and open it, generally speaking, there's going to be 5 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you're going to need to take this every day. It's multiple choice. You check it in the bottom button. Now, it's going to say there's unanswered questions because I didn't answer anything. It tells me the score is 0. You do not submit a score of 0. In fact, do not submit it until it's 80% or more. So now, instead of check it, it says try again. So we're going to try again. And I'm just going to ignore it again, and I'm going to say check it. And it's still going to be a bad grade. But let's pretend it was 80%. This is where you would submit it to me. You put your first and last name, your email address, and this is always msoberai at LVUSD. I don't know why that's coming up. So my Google saved that. So msobera@lbusd, and then send mail. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so let's go back to all resources. Let's click on the word more. And let's see what's there. Math form might be part of your grade. It's under unit performance tasks. Right now we don't have any logins for it, so I'm going to leave that alone. And this interactive student guide, it's just a workbook, and I've never used it, to be honest, and so you might want to look in it and see if it seems to help you. But notice how if I hover over something, it explains what that resource is. Let's go back to all resources. Tools is a toolkit which you can play with. I haven't really used that yet. We just got this last year, so we'll see if we use that this year. Here are your personal tutors instead of looking at them some other way. Notice how it said there were 6 of them. There really are only 3, and they're both in Spanish and in English. And they're pretty cool. Kids liked them last year. Vocab. The vocab, as I click on it, is the glossary from the book, and it's in alphabetical order. So if you're ever looking for something, let's say you're looking for what the mean represents, you would just click on M and you'll find mean. Okay, so I'm going to get out of that. All resources again, and the last one is worksheets. Now generally when I give you a worksheet for homework, I assign it. We'll look at where that is on the dashboard, but they're also allowing you to look at all this extra practice. So let's say there wasn't enough practice in class, or let's say, you know, for instance, I do tutor people as well, especially in high school. Let's say your tutor says, oh, I want to go and do some more work on this topic. You can bring them to your website, your student portal, and you can, let's hover. It says this is the study notebook worksheet, and open that resource. And this is something you can do with somebody who's trying to help you, whether it's an older brother, your parents. So that's a pretty cool thing. Okay, so all resources again. And so that's it. Okay, and of course there's one for every single section. Okay, so now keyword search, you know, it's better this year than it was, but that's like you can search for something like, I don't know, quadratic. Let's just see. So I'm going to search for quadratic, and let's see what it comes up with. Solving quadratics, etc., etc., etc. Okay, you can actually, if you find a specific personal tutor or something on here that you really want to save, you just click on the star and it'll appear here and you'll find it. Okay, so we're going to go back to the menu. Again, if I go to Connect Ed, it's going to bring me back to the top. So generally you won't do that unless you want to log out. I'm going to go back in. Generally you're going to be under Resources, or let's see Homework. Okay, so I don't really need to click on Homework yet. Look at where the homework appears. Right on your dashboard. And by the way, here are the other lesson resources by icons. So there's your vocab, there's your personal tutor, etc. Okay, so let's click on Homework. And so right now there's only due later because I haven't assigned anything that's due tomorrow, because today is Tuesday. We haven't even started school yet. So if I click on due later, there it is. Chapter 0 self-check. So I assigned all of them. You click on that and I give you some instructions, and there are a lot of them because there's one for every lesson. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and there are 12 lessons in chapter 0. So I've uploaded them all there for you. Okay, don't forget to submit them. Okay, I'm going back up here to Home. Okay, now the Home button goes back to the dashboard. So what else is here? Obviously the ebook. There are hard copies of the books in all of your desks at school, and there's a one that you will be checking out in the library. and that one has a barcode, and that one you will leave home and take care of. That's the one that your parents would have to pay for if you lost it or damaged it. Okay, so here we are. This is exactly like the book, right? So the nice thing about this is it's interactive, just like it was last year if you used this. So I'm on lesson 1-1, and I don't need to go back to my dashboard. I don't understand this, and I see, look, it jumps up. There must be a personal tutor for this. So I click on that, and look what happens. Well, what should have happened is it should have gone directly to the personal tutors. I guess maybe I clicked on favorites and I shouldn't have done that. Let's go back to that book. So let's go back to the book. Let's see what happens now. Personal tutors. Okay, yeah, so apparently you have to keep it on lesson search. Don't leave it on favorites. Let me go back to the book again. And let's see what else we can see on this. If you want to do the self-check, again, it's right there, and it'll come up with the self-check. It won't open it. You're still going to have to press this little cog and open the resource like we did before. Okay, so I'm going to click out of all of that. And that's really it, because most of it is exactly, there's the online book. I know that it will read it to you. Oh, here it is. Down here, do you see where it says audio? If you click on that, it will allow you to listen to the book. It's not doing it right now, and the reason it's not doing it is because my voice is superimposed on the microphone on my laptop, so it won't let you hear anything else, but it does work. So I'm going to click off of that. I'm going to click out of that. I'm going to click out of that. I'm going to confirm leaving there. And that's it. So thank you for taking the tour. We'll talk about different things more and more as the year goes on.